Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the Week 3 Roundup for the All-Invitational Premier All-Inspiration Tournament. I am your host, Uncommon, and we're here for StarCraft. We're here for some fantastic StarCraft from fantastic players. Absolutely going deep into the recesses and pulling out all this talent and power. And we're showing it to you. Right here, you get to see this monumental occasion live, online, for free. That is the future. You just get to sit back in your bed, on your computer, on your couch, and just watch StarCraft whenever you want. And right now you've chosen to watch it here with me as we get into the All-Invitational. This first matchup, Group A, the final match, the decider match, whatever we want to call it, is going to take place between Jim, Tony, and Praise, and this is a rematch of the first match. Praise took a walkover. Jim, Tony didn't have internet, but he's back, and now we get to see out how that's going to play. The winner of this match will move forward to play Bunny Willis in the bracket. Without any more delay, we're going to get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1. Jim, Tony versus Praise. We gotta do this right. First off, let's get some sound. A little bit of music. Second off, come on now. Like it's my first time. Ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, the Green Terran, representing All-Inspiration. It is Jim, Tony. His opponent in the top left-hand corner, the Red Terran, also representing All-Inspiration. It is Praise. Praise represented here today by UWU, which is, I believe the anime face. We've shed his blood over to the All-Invitational, guys. It's official. There. See if we can give him a name. Go ahead and add in a little text there. So, I'm gonna call this one Praise. Gonna add a new source, and in that we're gonna type the words Praise, and we're gonna spell it right. We're gonna move it all the way down. Come on, Praise. Move down here. There we go. Let's lock that into place. Alright, gonna wait until I'm not trash at this game, says Praise. He's going, both these players going out a little outside the meta right now. Going a little unusual. Right, they're both building bases inside of their bases. What we're used to seeing here at this point in the game is bases outside the bases. Doesn't even matter the matchup. It's just a thing Terrans love to do. And I say that, and that's something that's died down gently since the end of BlizzCon, as Maru got stomped on first game of the series, unexpectedly taking a loss. We do have a little bit of a change up here. We have Reaper Fast Expand here for Praise. We have the 1-1 so far here for Jim, Tony. Double gas, hoping to pop out some expensive units. Go right into that starport before he expands. This is the thing about Terran. This is very much like a chess match where neither players can see. Chess match where neither player can see the other's pieces, but I guess that's all of StarCraft. But in TVT, it's one of these like, oh, you moved the wrong pawn, I moved a different pawn, game over. Like, this is it. The very opening moves here, the units can do a lot of damage to each other, right? We can get a tank sieged up on low ground. We can get a Liberator on the middle line when you're not ready for it. There's so many things that can catch you in a tough spot here in the opening of TBT. So right now, what we're dealing with, 2 Reapers and Hellion. So Reaper, Hellion coming across the map. There is a Reaper out for Jim Tony. He went faster factory. He was able to get this out. And this Reaper, or this Hellion goes a long way towards taking this fight in his favor. The Hellion handles Reapers really, really well here. And Praise really needs to get out his own Reaper. There's a GG! And what did I say? The first couple pieces determine the outcome as Jim Tony takes game number 1. All right, then. Well, it's not even ready to cue the music back up. That was so quick. All right, game number 2 versus Jim Tony and Praise is going to take place on Year 0, fancy new map with a fancy new season. Let's get ourselves right into game number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, in this best of 3, taking game number 1 in the top right-hand corner, the Green Terran, it is Jim Tony. In the top left-hand corner, the Red Terran, it is Praise. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this was if that was the right moment to tap out, if he felt he really couldn't come back from losing a couple of Reapers. It can be a difficult thing to deal with, but, Praise really quick to tap out and get on to game number 2 there. Maybe he didn't like his start. He wanted to bring something different into the lineup. We shall see. Ooh, a cancel. That feels like a misplacement there. He gets that barracks in the right place. Wants to get he wanted to cancel rather than having to lift it and re-land it. Over on the other end, getting a mirror. So we're so far nothing fancy. Bases inside of bases. Take a look at this map while we have a chance. Then I'm not horribly familiar with this map. Looks like we split the base on each side of the main. Kind of a empty space over here, empty space over here. Shorter distance by air. We have a third option that puts you. It looks like it's gonna be harder to defend, but there is a defendable ramp and some rocks that kind of secure it for the short term, but you are expanding towards your opponent. I expect this is the more convenient third base up here. Both of them have ramps. We're really going to get something that favors the defense. As you wall off these ramps, you put some things on the high ground, and you just take that high ground advantage, especially for the third, and there is only 2 ramps coming into the third. So as long as you can watch, keep an eye out on things coming from the south end of this map, you'll be a little better suited. Taking a look around up here, we do have a watchtower in the center. It's going to watch for rocks falling. It's going to watch for some army movement this direction, the shortest direction by foot. We can probably, I think about right here should be the end of the vision for that watchtower. But that's now in range of a southern watchtower here. So actually controlling these watchtowers looks like they cover the majority of the distance, the majority of the view here in the middle. Taking a look at the dead space, there is some good dead space for air. Again, this watchtower will hit some of it, but you probably not the edge of the screen here. As air is short distance, comes right over, being kind of unmolested. And we've kind of been a little slow to the action so far. We don't have... We had that first Reaper out. He's staying at home. He's trying to be defensive. We have the pair of Reapers. As Jim Tony went Reactor first, so he's going Reactor Reapers into Cyclones. So I love the Cyclone combination here. Your Cyclones and Hellions, very fast units. Very fast units that stick together, right? They like to operate in buddy team pairs, collaboratively. And we're going to have these first 2 Reapers. Now, these Reapers are coming up in similar timings, but what he doesn't know is that they're coming 2 at a time consistently. So as long as Jim Tony can keep himself from losing a Reaper, he gets that Cyclone out to handle this Hellion. He'll be in a very strong position early on. Now, he's not expanded yet. He doesn't have... there he goes. Just now getting his expansion up. So not a complete all in here. He's banking that this is just going to do some damage. We do know that Praise is at least quick to surrender. Maybe it's frustration, maybe it's smart tactical knowledge here. He knows he doesn't have the advantage, but now he's got to face it. 4 Reapers coming up to the high ground. Cyclone gets the lock on the Hellion. The Hellion goes down. Some Marines coming to answer the question, but they're walking right into it. Looks like they were maneuvered to a check out of there, and Jim Tony takes game number 2, and we'll move on to face Bunny Willis in the All-Invitational bracket. Jim Tony shutting those down, shutting down Praise. No respect here. No respect as he walks over and shuts down his opponent. Ladies and gentlemen, very quick games from the Alpha Group. Now, next up, as we get into Group B, this is also a rematch from of the first match. Both these players meeting here in the elimination match. Mannix versus Tool. Now, Mannix took out Tool 2-1, and all of Tool's matches so far have been 2-1. So it's been very close matches for Tool. But last time they did face, Mannix took the lead. Mannix in the chat now with a big old smile, hanging out with me, giving me the good World of Warcraft advice prior to this match. Now, the winner of this match will go on to face Drumhead in the bracket. A very tough opponent waiting for whoever manages to pull this game out. So we're going to go right into game number 1. This is going to take place on Blue Shift. I'll see you there. Old replay. Ladies and gentlemen, in the top right-hand corner, the red Protoss. It is Mannix. His opponent in the bottom left-hand corner, the purple Zerg. It is Tool. Gameheart mod goes a long way. Thank you so much, Mannix. The most important feature I use is dead drone count. Can't go wrong there. So to kick this off, Protoss always needs a scout. Protoss in an unfortunate position that their expansion and the next steps early on require them to know what's going on the other side of the map. So we're going to get that early probe scout. It's going to come down here with the Zerg. He's going to see, is there a fast pool? Was this a 12 pool? Really looking to make sure that Natural's in position. And he is going to go across and see the Natural expansion for a Tool. A very, very safe move. There's not a lot that threatens a Zerg in a ZVP super early. You almost always want to go Hatchery first unless you're trying to get across the map really quickly and do some harassment damage, maybe even some game-ending damage if you're making that pool quick enough. But it does look like Mannix sees it's a safe opening as he prepares himself to expand right here. Now, taking a look at it, the next couple decisions here, we should see the wall start to form off. Does Mannix decide to take a direction with tech, right? Do we get a pylon back here and another direction? Templar Archives or Stargate. What is the opening? What is his first technical branch, as I like to call it? And it's always, a way. You want to hide this bit of information. It's not forever. This isn't horribly sneaky. It's not on the other side of the map. But you pull it back. You don't want this information readily available at the wall. You want this Overlord to have to risk coming in to gather information to know what's coming. And we do have Medic sitting over here at the third base. Hey, he wants to know when that third base goes down. He wants to know what kind of timing he's looking at. This could be the difference between roaches and lings. Tool, or Zerg in general, can get a very safe third at about the 20 supply mark. It's not even a greedy third, just a respectful, quick third. Especially with the larva production and the potential for ling floods there, it can go a long way. This probe going to do a little bit of harassment, but that third base is going to go down. His lings are now on the map. It's going to be very hard for that, or to try to hold any ground. But I like this. Maddox comes over here. He gets his Elnaga tower. He knows information is paramount. You have to know what's coming. You have to know, you have to know. Well, I mean, what else you want? The overlords are in your base. They're seeing things that you don't want them to see. You know, Mannix throwing down the robotics facility. You know, spotted instantly here by the overlord. Overlord trying to get away. Looks like it's out of luck here. This stalker has his number. We get in there as he does fall just over the precipice of the high ground. Now, taking a quick look around, we have some lings starting to spread out. This is looking like a pretty good fight for information. You don't want to be caught off guard. You don't want to be surprised by what your enemy has. Overlords in key positions, moving in to spy on the third base. Moving over here to spy on a potential third base, taking some high ground. Lings spreading themselves around. You know, this one ling could delay a third expansion. He not only gets the probe if he doesn't come unsupported, but it delays that third for a little longer, and if he's got forces, he can continue some harassment. You know, poke at the third base, get cancels. Beautiful information gathering here. The wall's completely up. He's opted for stalkers at the front gate here. Sometimes we get stalkers, sometimes we get, you know, adepts, sentries, zealots. But stalker here leads me to believe we're going to get blink researching, but no, we're actually getting zealot legs, and we're getting a gateway explosion. We've actually pulled off gas. This is the charge lot rush that warp gate here will dictate and show us, and it's all being hidden. All been hidden right back here on this pylon. There's a lot of gateways, and the key here is he's pulled off gas. He's completely focused on minerals. He needs no gas for this. He gets the warp prism out on the other side of the map, and he starts warping in a massive number of zealots. Now, what Tool needs to be doing right at this moment is scouting. This was an information war, and he needs to know this is coming. And even if he knows it's coming, this is going to be a very challenging thing to hold. This is a lot of gateways. This is a lot of minerals. Roach production right now, like endless roach production. Nothing but roaches, and Overlord should be coming out right now for Tool. As that first warp prism comes out, I'm not sure if that was spotted. I think that's on the edge of the Overlord's vision, and if he's paying attention, he should have seen it, which should opt nothing but roaches. A single drone in the production tab tells me he's not respecting the threat, and there's 4 drones right now coming down here for Tool. He's going to continue to drone up 8 drones. He's in a very tough position here, as we're going to get the first round of warp ins. There's at 8 charge lots now on the board, and every round makes this a little bit worse. They come in to get the first hit. They're going to get this queen, and now they're going to meet the queens and the lings in the middle. This warp prism over here trying to get a better position. Charge lots meeting the roaches face to face, and you know they're keeping the whole army tucked away over here. It doesn't look like it's going to. Whoa, okay, I was saying it's going to clean up the zealots. But they took out all the roaches, and we have another round of warp-ins in the main base, and they're going straight for the lair. The warp prism stepping up, moving to another position. Ooh, if he had focused on the +1, he's going to opt out of it. And he's chasing some drones around. This is really buying some good time here for Tool to get a force together. These charge lots having chased the drones, don't have any charges available here, but another round of warp-ins here as the queens need to be focused firing. This warp prism trying to get away here, changing their targets actually to the zealots that are in the main. The drones are running away. Roach numbers are low. There should be another warp-in coming here at the top, as there it goes. There's a GG. Mannix takes game number 1. Oh man, I'll tell you that. Such good control. I love that the warp prism was moving around the base, dropping zealots in different locations. So much so that it's hard to follow all the action at once. So we're going to go ahead and quit to StarCraft. We got to reload that beautiful game. You know, let's just go ahead and kill the StarCraft visual here. No need to accidentally show you any replays. I don't mean to, even though I've set them for the most part up. But Mannix in chat says that's one of his favorite builds. You know, I like it too. Even as a Zerg, it reinforces the need to scout. It says you can beat this if you know it's coming, and it's very easy to see. If you scout the Protoss and they don't have anything on gas, scout deeper. They're exploding gateways. They're going to have a lot of zealots. Start making roaches. Like, these is very easy things to spot, and it's that reinforcement that really that I really like. So that being said, game number 2 is going to take place on Port Alexander. We're gonna get that loading now. It is another old patch. Let's get ourselves into game number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, the red Protoss. Fresh off his first win in this best of 3, it is Mannix. His opponent on the top left-hand corner, the purple Zerg. It is Tool. Alright, so something I've been meaning to do that I could do now on stream is the rotations. So I have my camera zooms, right? And the very far camera zoom, and I like casting at this distance. If people aren't casting at the far out zoom, figure out your hotkey for it and get used to it, because there's 3 levels of zoom, right? Close in, middle, and really far. And there's another hotkey for really far. But there's always that like introduction where they rotate the camera. So this is really zoomed in. I know this button now, okay? So I can play that game as long as I'm in. But there's that rotation button, and is it? Nope, it's not page up or page down. Home and end and page up and page down are in and out. Is it insert and delete? Is it... It's not scroll lock or... Oh, nope. Gosh darn. Wait a minute. There we go. It is not super fast, right? As I kept pushing buttons, I sped everything up. But there is a button on my keyboard that does that thing. Anyway, let's take a quick look around, make sure I'm not missing anything as I figure out buttons. Yeah, we are getting an expansion from the Zerg. As we talked about last time, Mannix sees it. He can expand now behind this. Not an immediate threat on this side of the board, but he's going to want to wall off. He's going to choose his technology path. Now, curious if he sticks to his previous decision and gives us... Does he do it again? Does he do a Zealot rush? Does he have a Stargate plan for us? This pylon a little closer to scoutable position makes me think that he's not trying to hide as much, but it wasn't that far off from where we saw it last game. On the other side of the map, so far just the initial 2 lings, doesn't scream a lot of aggression, screams just enough, and actually, being cheeky here, Mannix drops a pylon at the 3rd base that will absolutely block the 3rd base location for the drone. The drone should then immediately turn around and either plant at the 3rd or decide to break it. Ooh, okay, so he is going to get this base location. There was that cancel, so just a little bit of a delay, a little bit of a mind game there. Hoping to force the closer or the less desired 3rd base out of his opponent. He didn't end up getting it. Taking another scan around here. Mannix opting again for Stalker First. And Stalker First always makes me think, hey, this is going to be it's going to be maybe Blink. We're going mass Stalkers. Especially if we get that first Twilight Council down. But this second pylon back here, and really the focus on not placing that second line of tech at this time, it's not down yet, makes me think he might be doing the same thing. We do get the robotics facility first, that's important. For that warp prism, we're getting an adept kind of in the wall. Actually, it looks like a really big gap. Nope, that's a normal sized gap. So we'll see if these are mind games. We're going to get the Zealot legs again. We do have a quick Roachborn going down. We're not looking at any kind of fast ling speed. With Twilight Council is the first tech choice. So, we are set up so far. Well, really for anything. This could be a 4-gate. That Forge is a change. As I say that, I don't actually know for sure that there isn't a variation of these Zealot legs that have +1. So, there we go. Okay, we're getting a couple observers out. It does look like then Mannix isn't playing the short game. He's got a longer plan in mind. And I'm just curious to see what that's going to be in a few moments as we get a handful of lings sitting back at base for Tool. I wouldn't mind seeing these out and about, poking at the front door, gathering information. this seems like, I'd say, a pooling of units and a strong commitment to Roach Ravager. As I'm trying to get a read on this, let's watch the next couple larvae, because 3 overlords, that's good. With a mass roach coming, or an attack coming, something you plan on trying to punish with. These roach ravager very expensive on supply. You almost need to double the overlord production to stay on top of it. It's very important that you do, and we are getting a ravager push right at the front door. These bios go a long way towards messing with this wall. That pylon in a lot of danger. It's a very important pylon. If he doesn't get another pylon up quickly, he's going to start losing the ability to warp in out of 2 gateways. He's going to lose the ability to protect this wall. So things start to go down. This is now Tool's game. Tool's game to lose as he takes his time. He makes some good decisions. He's got to face his Immortal, though, and the probes have been pulled. They should be able to clean this up, as there's not a massive follow-up in the middle of the map here. But this does not feel good. Mannix is not necessarily in the best of positions here. He's defending with probes, 1 Immortal, and an Observer as more units, actually a healthy number of units, starting to rally across the map here. Lings getting in are the right answer to this Immortal here. Tool's putting on a lot of pressure. That Immortal in some severe danger of getting surrounded, going down. A couple Lings following it into the main base, and they will pull back as he opts to continue to put damage down on the probes. Some Roaches out here, probably best if they were in helping to the poke, but they are putting down a little bit of damage on some shields. This is kind of where you get caught up when you start, attack moving your entire army. It does look like he's putting down massive amounts of damage here. 13 probes have lost their way. The Immortal about to fall. Lings getting around that are going to make sure they finish that off. A couple more gateways and some more some shield batteries and pylons, trying to really secure this upper base here. But 15 probes are gone. The Lings are in the mineral line. There's the GG. Mannix taps out, and we are going to go to game number 3. GG. Tool showing us that he too can be aggressive, that he too can punch right up that middle and pressure his opponent. It's anybody's game at this point. Both of them have shown some fantastic aggressive strategies. And so what do we get in game 3? What's our prediction? We could see double aggression. We could see double macro. At this point, it wouldn't surprise me to see a Ling Flood versus an Adept all in. There's just so many options out here on the table. Very good first 2 games. Yeah, Mannix says, after our first matchup, I never thought he would be aggressive. He was not prepared. Yeah, there was definitely a burst to tech up. I don't necessarily want to use the word greedy in that match, but information starved that time. The information gathering was a lot stronger that first game, and maybe only because it didn't... we were looking at it from the other direction of the aggressor. So we're going to actually get right in. We're going to get right into this. I said that way too often. We're going to get into game number 3, Kyrus Junction LE, and we're going to see how this finishes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us. After we finish the TAI, we will be getting into the Pizza Pie. And if you don't know already, you can add 50 cents to the prize pool by contributing, by putting the code in Pizza Pie 2 at Match Arena. That's 50 cents that Match Arena is just giving us. Ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, the Red Protoss, representing All In, as both these combatants hit game number 3. This is Mannix. In the top left-hand corner, the Purple Zerg, representing All Inspiration. It is Tool. We've seen some aggressive strategies are the winner right now. So far in this matchup, between these 2 players, the first attacker wins. Both players missing key amounts of information, being maybe they were too comfortable. But the strategy here, do we go aggressive? Is this the tempo, or is aggression, 3rd time in a row, what spells doom for these players? As we get this first probe coming up here, he's going to see the same opening he's seen each time. He's going to know that he can expand behind this. He can be a little safe. So I expect that we're going to have a lot of the same first maneuvers coming out of this. The spawning pool goes down for Tool about the minute 16 mark. And that probe gets himself a good old scout. Probe sits at the third base. Last time we got a pylon thrown down here to kind of delay the third base. There's a number of ways you can do that. You can play worker on worker games. Drop that pylon. I wonder if anybody ever thought of just like a single cannon. That would actually be an amount of work would be required to clear that out. Like cannon rush, but just like one cannon on the natural in both thirds. Go back and macro up. I mean, that's a lot of commitment to minerals. 3, 6, 750. Yeah, that's not good at all. But maybe. We saw some things recently in the Alpha Star match between Alpha Star and Mana. We've been told for ages is wrong. For example, Alpha Star was saturating up to 25 minerals, up to 25 probes on the mineral patch. Was actually well oversaturating 16 minerals on each. So, there are secrets to StarCraft that these computers are starting to figure out. As soon as that Alpha Star match finished, actually, I had my had a good friend, old coworker, message me. Now he's an old Army Ranger guy, very survival oriented. He's got a cabin up in the middle of the woods that he's hand built himself, and we talk about these things from time to time. StarCraft and AI, and he's now more convinced than ever that AI are going to take over the world, and he has at least given me the invite to retreat back to his mountain home when the apocalypse takes over. So I feel a little more safe and secure knowing I have that fallback. All right, taking a quick look here. We have a similar open Twilight Council robo. We're getting the second observer being pushed out now. Information gathering at its finest is coming right over here to the natural. We also have this kind of the same push coming out of Tool. We saw this pooling of Lings. We saw the first couple of roaches coming. So it looks like Tool wants to play the same game. It looks like Mannix, is playing the same game. So curious to see how this changes, how this evolves differently. So there's the Immortal, there's Zealot legs. We have some Adepts on the front. We're getting that Roach Hydra pulling right here. The Observer sees it. He's got to know this is going to be knocking on his door in a few moments. He watches it leave. Let's see the response down here as we watch the preparation. He's getting Stalkers. He's getting Shield Batters. Shield Batters is very important. Something he didn't have last game. That will go a huge... there we go. So another pylon. Let's keep everything powered. And a third Shield Batter. He is really covering down on this. And, that feels like the right answer here. As Tool pumping the front of this. Ravager Blast covering the gap. Getting a Ling for their trouble. Starting to put down Biles on the pylon. And nothing's fallen here for Mannix yet. He's into shields. But he falls back to Shield Batters. And he gets a fresh start here. As the third Shield Battery comes online. Second pylon, he's venturing out a little bit to put some damage down. That Ravager Blast, gonna hit that Adept. As now the Lings start to flood in. The Ravagers get in there, firing their shots off. But the Shield Battery's doing a fantastic job of keeping these things alive. This is an absolutely disgusting grinder of a choke point for Tool as he has to retreat here. As the blood of the Zerg to fill that corridor. Not a lot of Protoss blood down there. Only a couple units here lost for Mannix as he continues another round of Warpins. And every second that this doesn't win, every second that this doesn't break through, it is pushing slowly and slower in Mannix's favor. Even 22 army supply to 36. He can't get all his army supply to bear at the same time. He's having to deal with these Shield Batteries. Only 2 of them are low on energy, but he's got a full Shield Battery up in the top right he can still fall back to. As this continues to come in, Zealots now with legs into the fight here. The choke point filled with roaches. The Shield Battery up here now low on energy. All these Shield Batteries kind of got their use out of them. Should start to take a little more damage here. Should start to get a little more serious. He really needs to get out of those Biles, and Tool really needs to land them Another round of warpins coming in as more zealots come to join the fight. Now, these are zealots with legs. They're going to go a little farther and do a little more damage. And it does look like Mannix is going to chase him out. Chase him out to the bottom of that ramp. And that looks like the end of the aggression. He is still making Roach Ravager. It's hard to tell if he wants to push out or if this is just a counterattack problem. Counterattack counter. But it does look like Mannix is going to sit home. He's got, a healthy number of Immortals. A handful of Zealots. He's actually getting another warp into Zealots. Gets the sense that this isn't over. He wants to clean it up and counterattack. And, that looks like to have been the right call. These shield batteries, starting to get their energy back. Starting to recharge for round 2. But the army count here of Mannix is going to be enough to, push this away. He's a very excellent defense there. Hello, Drumhead. The winner of this match plays you in the bracket. Hello. Alright, this defense here going really well. Tool, though, continuing to bring over Roaches, Ravagers, get some warp-ins. If he can find the right angle, if he can get a good surround, this is not game over. He's just in a dangerous position here. Backing up from the Zealots, though, does give them a charge cooldown. They get the damage from their charge, they back up. Very healthy strategy for Mannix. But Tool, even though committing, would have gotten more damage done. He wasn't a fight he felt he could take. He has to get out of there. The Overlord flying into position on the high ground should give him at least some knowledge of the angles his opponent's trying to take as he tries to maneuver left, right, or center on the army of Mannix. One more warp in going in. As Ling's kind of stuck in the middle of the army here. I would like to see a bit of a surround, maybe going down and around the top. Going around the top here, trying to come in from behind. But they are also there to protect the Ravagers here as the Zealots get in, get a charge attack off, and we kind of disengage here. Another round of Zealots. These Zealots are, almost in like a Zealot rush numbers here as he's warping in 6 or 7 of these at a time. There's the Biles coming down. The Immortals are going to take it, but it does look like there are enough Zealots here to overrun this. His charge begins to refresh here. They start to get some really good attacks in, and really you cannot run away from a charging Zealot army if it wants to keep following you. Behind this now, he's got to be prepared for the counter. He's got to be able to fight this on his territory, on his ramp. But I don't know if Tool has what it takes to do this, as the Zealots here getting their distance again, getting in, getting their charge damage done. Drones have been pulled. The Queen's in the fight now. Queen's coming up from the bottom of the ramp. The Immortals dishing out so much damage. 14, 15, 16, 18 drones have gone down now as the Roaches begin to get wiped out. There's the GG, and Mannix takes game number 2. GG. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just witnessed Group B's final match. Mannix makes his way out. Congratulations to Mannix. What we're going to do now, we're going to take ourselves a short break before we get into Group C. So let's take a look at what match that is, give you a little bit of a teaser, and then we'll refresh this coffee. Give all of you a time to utilize your facilities. Also refresh your coffee. Really, this is like cup number 5 today. I might want to slow down. I might want to slow down. I don't know yet. We'll find out. All right, Mannix says GG Tool. Tool says GG Mannix. Both of you well played on both ends there. Mannix follows up by saying, now it's time for me to get slapped by a drum. Drumhead is a monster. He did make it out in the first round for good reason. Taking a quick look at Group C's final match. It is Tech 4 versus White Ninja. And this will also be a rematch of the first match. Tech 4 beat White Ninja 2-1. And he went on to the winner's match, but then Tech 4 overslept against Drumhead and was hit with a walkover. So he was forced to play in this elimination match. So this is absolutely set to be a fantastic match. It is a PVZ, and the winner of this will play against Exiled. So with that, we'll be back in about 5 minutes, and I'll see you with some more StarCraft, guys. It's time for more StarCraft. I'm super excited. I can't be more excited. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. All right, we are on our way forward. We're into Group C. We're going to watch Tech 4 versus White Ninja. The winner of this will move on to face Exiled. The winner has a hell of a match in front of them. We're going to get right into game number 1. It's going to take place on Port Alexander. I'll see you in game. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, the purple Zerg, it is Tech 4. His opponent in the top left-hand corner, it is White Ninja. Alright, so we got a lot of PvZ here today. Well, 2 so far. We started off this day with a TVT between Praise and Jim Tony. Jim Tony taking that match 2-0. Tech 4 says, sorry, it's coming. Now, we do know that Tech 4's strategy here is to put a hatchery in the natural. Looks like we are getting that again. This is no secret or surprise to White Ninja. This is exactly the strategy Tech 4 employed in game number 1. We all got to watch here. Now, it does look like White Ninja learned his lesson. He's respecting the hatch. He's got just enough probes on this that he can, kill it, right? Lower its health. Gets that first Zealot out here to really help push that away. There goes that Cybernetic cord. Let me take a look, because Drumhead says he's short 1 probe. You might be right. I think the health is still lowering. Yeah, just enough probes. I don't know if it kills it before it finishes and pops out a couple larvae, but it is definitely losing health at this point. This should get canceled. Tech 4 should not let this finish for a couple of larvae. As we kind of watch the health as this thing continues to go. He does let it finish, and it immediately catches fire, and it has 50-something health left to go. There's 1 larva. Ooh, and a handful of broodlings that get to come out and get redirected right onto the pylon. Just not enough damage to get through the shields. Now, we did have a little bit of a game here. The probe did block the natural expansion. Looks like Tech 4 went right to the first natural and then threw down a very quick hatchery, less than 20 supply, it looks like, especially while this shenanigans was going on over here. And this is okay. If the Zerg can get away with these kind of shenanigans, the Zerg can expand very quickly. There's not a lot that punish it. And it looks like White Ninja's trying to get this Overlord. He's going to find himself 1 more point of damage, and that Overlord goes down. Supply blocking. Tech 4, actually. Right before his hatchery finishes. Forcing a couple more Overlords out of him. And really, 200 supply worth of early game, 200 minerals actually worth of early game units and buildings, thrown away here. I'm going to say thrown away necessarily. That they got some scouting information. It delayed that base in a base really delayed the natural for White Ninja, which is a more significant problem for the Protoss player. But actually, control here is each of these drones morphing into spore crawlers. I think he saved every single one of those probes with either a spore crawler or a gas geyser. So excellent maneuver there from Tech 4. All these bruised drones here will eventually recover and really bring their money in. So the White Ninja trying to get some harassment done on the other side, doesn't find any success, and it looks like he's going to come back to his wall. And really just the whole structure of this game is behind by about a minute. No, they're about 1 minute behind where they would normally be here, but we are stabilizing. We are getting a couple lings looking to poke the front, but with this many sentries, you know, they're gonna get pushed away. Tech 4 tries to find some damage, not finding an opening. Taking a quick gander at what's going on from base to base. We're starting to get a significant number of lings made. So we have spore crawlers in each base. We just saw an evolution chamber go down. We're getting 12 lings. We're just popped out of the production tab. So it looks like he might want to do a ling flood without a main ling nest. It might be a hard proposition. And we do have a lot of sentries on the board here. White Ninja not playing around. Now those sentries, you don't want to expose them. You don't want them to take a more direct fight with these lings, but they do provide those force fields in critical locations to push back lings. You let lings soak up, you let shields soak up a little bit of damage, you push them away with a force field, and you keep this entry blocked. You protect your stalker from damage, and to round all of it off, they are ranged, so they'll do a really good job of holding back this ling flood. But it does look like this is exactly what's going to happen. That Baneling Nest in production now. We don't have +1 going. And I say flood, but we did just see Tech 4 finish 9 drones. So you know, maybe a little too early to call what's going on. A couple sentries moving out as White Ninja hopes to secure a third base. But as soon as he does, I suspect these lings have another plan. Oh, some actually Overlord speed moving here. You know, this looks like we're going to get some Dropper Lord play. Coming right across this dead space, a huge black area. He can really pull some lings there. And then this wall, these sentries, they mean a lot less. 2 immortals throw out a lot of damage, but you know, lings and ling numbers. This is not a bad attack coming up here from Tech 4. But if it is seen, White Ninja does have a lot on the board. He can accomplish a lot, and it does look like he might be on the other side of the map when all this happens. We don't have any morphing happening yet. He's in position for the attack, maybe as a counterattack, but right now moving across the middle of the map is the bigger concern here. The army supply is pretty large here. We get another round of stalkers being morphed in midway. 46 army supply to 24. The creep spread is going to give him a little bit of a warning. It looks like he is pulling the army in 2 directions from the top to answer this, but these stalkers at your front door. The queen's trying to have a say in this fight. Sentries and the sentry force fields will be massive for shaving off queens and keeping them out of the battle, really shaping the battlefield the way they want it to. As lings start to flood in here, the drones being pulled from the south side, lings from the top end, getting this around, but I don't think there's enough here. The force fields, still, all these sentries very heavy, a lot of energy left, but not really needing that many force fields. The battle was so overwhelmingly on their side. They were kind of allowing the units to come in one at a time here, getting the entirety of that third base, marching up the ramp here. This is, you know, the last stand, and we only have a couple lings on the board. 17 army supply to 58, as the immortals, the stalkers, the sentries, and now, you know, zealots coming across here. The War Prism's still alive, blocking anything coming from the main base here. He's going to get this natural. Tech 4 having to sacrifice it. Tech 4 says, went for an all-in and forgot link speed. Ladies and gentlemen, GG. As White Ninja takes game number 1. So it looks like we're going to have ourselves one heck of a fight here, as both these players vying for the win, vying to make it out of Group C, vying to move on and face down Exiled. Tech 4 now has to take the next 2 games. White Ninja only needs 1. And, yeah, we'll see where we go. We'll see where this goes. We're going to get right into game number 2. This one's going to be on Kairos Junction. And I'll see you on the inside. All right, ladies, gentlemen, bottom right-hand corner, the purple Zerg. Using these mechanical monstrosities, it is Technical 4. Top left-hand corner, the pink Protoss. It is White Ninja. Workers clash in the middle. Bump and go. Because every single game in a ZVP, we have watched this drone turn into a hatchery. White Ninja. Kind of expecting it, finding himself, in a defensible position here. The probe does win this fight. Ooh, as the probe moves away at the last second to try to stay alive. I thought the probe wins that fight. Tug Forward takes the hatchery, and we get ourselves 6 probes this time pulled down to secure this. Now 6 probes goes a lot quicker than 5, well, a little quicker than 5. You see this health already dipping into the 100s here. The rematch is real. This is step by step. It looks like, White Ninja knew what was coming. He was practiced, rehearsed for it. He knows the number of probes to pull to get what he wants to get done. He's not going to let it stop his rhythm because he drops the cybernetics core. This hatchery going to get nowhere near finishing. We're down to 30 health. He gets the cancel. Ooh, looks like he runs away with the drone. Now, a little bit of a chase ensues. But he might get away with dropping another hatch. We've seen him do it before up here in the main. Maybe this just becomes a scouting drone. We had some movement here and here. Some more drones were exploring a little bit, in some weird locations. It does look like this drone so far is going to behave itself, but that's the story. He's going to duck into the shady, darker areas of the Protoss base and maybe come back again later. Taking a quick look at what's going on the other side of the map, we do have a double expansion that went down, the second and third base going fairly close to each other. This drone's still alive down here in the corners. It tries to hide. It looks like it will get out and make it home to mine minerals, do drone things, kiss its drone wife and kids. Everybody's starting to get into their rhythm, starting to get to their build orders. The Protoss here, White Ninja, deciding to go Stargate opening. It gives him a lot of early options, especially lets him push away, any of those nosy overlords. Now, we only have the one. It does look like he's on a very specific mission with the long way all the way up. Maybe scouting for proxies and all the way over rather than going straight across. And the first 2 adepts now at the front door. Actually, really slow on a couple of links here. These adepts are going to put out a lot of damage here. Two drones going down, 3 going down. There's the 4th, and every time they fire in unison, we're going to lose another drone. All the drones not only miss mining time, but missing 4 drones during all of this. We just had a complete evacuation to the 3rd base, which seems that's not a bad plan. But if you'd gotten those adepts out of there, and he does get those adepts out of there, that 3rd base now is a really long way from any kind of safety, any kind of queens. And it does look like he's opting to go home instead, deciding he wants to fight another day. Taking a quick look around here, we do have a... All right, color me surprised. There's a Void Ray on the way. That'll be great against any kind of roach rushes or roach all-ins. You did see the roach warren in that fight, so maybe not the worst call there. And we're going right into a second one, so we might be just getting ourselves a mass Void Ray. Now I'm seeing a lot of this in the ladder myself. Is we get usually the Protoss is a little more turtley, but they stay back behind 2 bases. They go Void Rays, they go carriers. They really just try to hide until they have a great unstoppable Sky Toss army. They can do that relatively quickly. This is kind of a difficult thing to punish for early Zerg, because you really need to be knocking down the doors. You need to be taking out probes and pylons. You need to be doing it with lings, but you got to be doing it enough lings that the number of Void Rays isn't making that impossible. He could block this wall off. He could defend with Void Rays for at least a significant enough amount of time to start, dwindling away the number of lings. And as long as it's not a sustained flood, at certain levels of play, this is a hard thing to fight against. And if you back up and you try to start teching up to Hydralisks or Corruptors, you are a little bit on the back foot. You're being reactionary to a Protoss that's already trying to to dominate the air. Now, it does look like he's not just massing Void Rays. We are getting a Phoenix behind this now as the Void Rays move forward. Twilight Council going down here. Drumhead says these are probably just don't want to die Voids. It's a very important concept for Protoss, especially with Link Floods here. Don't want to die Voids, though can move across the map and take on Queens. This Queen's going to find a quick end. There's nothing else necessarily shooting in the air. If you can get down the Spore Crawler before it comes up, you can get down, you know, a number of drones, or 4 drones going down. Now this Spore Crawler almost done, actually doing a little bit of micro there, pulling back a Void Ray, focusing on that other Queen now, pulling back the injured Void Ray again. Now the Spore Crawler about to pop, and I don't know the magic number here for Void Rays per Spore Crawler, but that Spore Crawler should not be enough. There we go. It goes down fairly quickly. And now we have fully charged beams, and we have a hatchery about to go down. This third base going to fall. And on the other end of the map, we do have some Links trying to poke in, but there's just, you know, just the right amount of wall there to make that not possible. Great thing about Void Rays, they're not afraid of Broodlings. These Broodlings come out, and turns out they can't shoot up here. The Adepts and the Stalkers coming out to meet the Lings on the back base. It does look like White Ninja's doing an excellent job of controlling the battlefield. He's even cleaned up the Overlord that was hanging out up here with the Phoenix. He's starting to go into Templar Archives. He's starting to ramp up this technology, and he's safe to do it. You know, his opponent doesn't have a third base. His opponent is trying, you know, very quickly to check up into something that answers Void Rays, but his opponent is not massing Void Rays, not massing air. These Hydralisks, they're good units. They'll still beat the fight, but it's still a trip up the tech tree that not only was he required to do, but isn't necessarily going to be massively effective on you know, when you're behind a base. That being said, Void Rays, 4th Void Ray joins the battle. There is a new third base over here in a 5th base location along the bottom, trying to hide. When you're trying to hide a base, get something done here. Ooh, that Hydralisk did going down fast and mid upgrade. But it does look like the Hydralisks are going to get here just in time to save that. 1 Void Ray going down. You know, Queens and Hydralisks doing an excellent amount of damage here. Now, if he just continues to fly away, he does spot this base. It is a goner, but it is an information game at this point. You know, Tech 4 keeps that base if he keeps the information concealed. Now, Void Rays veering dangerously close here to the Hydralisk, and this might be a good catch here for Tech 4 as he tries to chase us down. Void Rays aren't the fastest, but they do still fly in a straight line, and there is no creep. The creep has not been pushed far enough to handle that. Taking a quick look around here, the third base of White Ninja, starting to secure that with shield batteries, a couple units on that end, building up a respectable amount of sentries, starting the Immortal production, and really starting to explode in the main base with this tech tree. There is a lot going on here right now. We have Immortals, we have the Templar Archives, Storm, +1/+1, handful of gateways, you know, some more pylons coming down here. I almost feel like that's a lot of tech for the limited number of pylons, but that was still 4 pylons with that 4th one going down here. It looks like that Phoenix was going to get himself an Overlord. An observer around here spotting the army, sees the Hydralisks, still moving the Void Rays right into the Hydralisks. Maybe not the best move, and White Ninja turns away at the last second, and he is going to... He's safe, he's off creep, he is going to be able to get away. At this base down here, this 3rd base, 5th base location there we have for Tech 4 so far is safe, is hidden, and starting to mine up a fair number of drones on it, getting a lot of additional minerals that he's really going to need as he's trying to come back from a bit of a base deficit here. Gamer Richie, thank you for stopping by. Yeah, good luck to all the players as we get as we are right in the middle of the mess. You know what? We need that button. So this so far, if you're stepping in just now, we are in the best of 3. White Ninja took game number 1, and it looks like we're gonna have a conflict coming up real soon here. Not only protecting this little bit of knowledge and hidden base, but finding a good path to intercept this air army. But there's a lot of Storm here. That is a lot. Let's count that real quick. 6 Templars right now. 6 Templars that throw their load on Storms, become Archons, and the army is really took a hit in growth and development when it had to do a force switch into Hydralisk. And we have that Storm going down here. Lots of Void Rays, melting roaches. The Hydralisk actually kept out of the fight for the most part due to the Storm, and that was a fantastic engagement for White Ninja. The supply says it all. 97 to 147. It's a 35 army advantage here, and they're going to spot the creep, and they're going to spot this third, 5th base, the hidden base over here that was trying to sneak out some additional minerals, and that's going to be a long. That is not getting away. All those poor drones actually stuck and being forced into the shields. The Storm's getting the drones, the Storm's getting the army. Looks like Tech 4 says, fine, if you don't want to fight me down here, I'll go take it to your place, as he walks up north with a very bruised army. I'm not sure if yeah, this does not look like something he can't at least hold off until the main army continues. We've got a couple of zealots that can hold the wall for a little bit here. White Ninja trying to take a fourth base, kind of in the middle of this action. And this is a significant, this is a significant place for Tech 4 to find himself, but he now is sandwiched between the recalling army and the returning army. Void Rays, Immortals starting to throw down some damage. Now Hydralisk throwing down a respectable amount of DPS, but the Storm is now caught back up. And there's the be gone from White Ninja, the no respect here, as he tells Tech to get out. It looks like we're getting into the beginning of the end. Let's keep a look at the production tab. We have 8 more drones on the way, more Hydralisks facing it, but it is a 28 to 85 army supply deficit. There's a whole nother tech structure with that spire going down that Tech's trying to move himself into, but it's very late in the game to make some very late in the game to make a switch, and he's not far enough ahead to survive it. The Hydralisk being forced back, the small amount of army he has restricted to the natural, having to give up this third base. This very scary storm-wielding army takes game number 2, and White Ninja will move on to the bracket where he plays Exiled. This was a match that Tech 4 was able to take in the first series. Tech 4 originally beat White Ninja 2-1, but overslept in the winners match and was forced to give a walkover and lose now to White Ninja in the finals match. So yeah, congratulations to White Ninja. That was Group C for the All-Invitational. And coming up next is Group D. We're on Delta. We're on the last match of the All-Invitational. This one's going to be between P. Sosa and Tio. That's a ZVP, so it's been almost entirely ZVPs. We had a TVT to start off the match with Group A, and then nothing but ZVPs. So yeah, congratulations, GG to everybody in groups, everybody so far. This has been a great series of games. We're going to take another break. Before we jump into this last match, before we jump into Group D. So a little bit about this before we jump into it is Group D was the only non-rematch. Every one of these everyone previously was a rematch, so these players have not faced each other in the All-Invitational. Both players have lost to Bunny Willis and taken a walkover against Frogs, who hasn't been able to play his match due to life, as life gets in the way from time to time. And the winner of this will have to play Pure in the bracket. So they're both in their own unique situation, having lost the match to Bunny Willis, forced given the walkover from Frogs, and just destiny has brought these two together. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break with Group D. Hello there. Glad you could join me. We have ourselves some StarCraft to finish. And I was really hoping we could do it together. Moving into Group D of the All-Invitational. We're here to watch Bisosa versus Tio. ZVP, and as we talked about before the break, this is the only non-rematch. These players had not faced off against each other yet in the All-Invitational. Both players lost to Bunny Willis, and both have taken a walkover against Frogs. So the winner of this match will move on into the bracket, and they will face down Pure. First match is going to take a place on Blue Shift. Let's get into game number 1. Old version of old replay. See you in game. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, the red Zerg, it is Bisosa. His opponent in the top right-hand corner, the blue Protoss, it is Tio. Tio with the good luck, have fun, do die opening. Polite and gets right to the point. We can immediately get to follow that first probe scout. He moves his way across the board. This is the 2i expand probe. It's also the block the natural probe. So unfortunate. Oh, nope. Tio actually opting not to get up in there. As a Zerg taking a 17 hatch is a very tricky prospect. Quite often that first probe likes to sit there and pile on a block or play games that really delayed this out. That can really mess with the timing or force you to take a third, more than likely, in one of these other positions. Now, what is happening, we're getting third hatch before pool, and maybe now the probe decides to play the games. No, Tio just going to let this very, very greedy opener happen. He watches the drone pass by the third, and we have no spawning pool yet at 17 supply. This is completely safe. This is something that Zerg can do very comfortably against Protoss. And this is something that Protoss is going to have to answer. Yes, White Ninja, we did get those games. I will, so White Ninja asks, has Ninja versus Tech already gone? And it has. I will be uploading all these on the YouTube, though, as soon at the end of the day here. And I'll be posting that link in the All-Invitational if you'd like to catch it. Also available in the video archives on Twitch. I don't know if immediately or shortly after these casts are over for the day. Alright. So we are getting that spawning pool. It's going to be finishing up, opting for a no gas start. That gives him a lot more minerals for queens and probes. And something you really want. You really want to get away with as much mineral gathering as possible as a Zerg. We don't see this opening too often because it's just not as safe, right, as a normal 17. But the longer he delays gas, the more he has in queens. Queens can become the defense, and it does look like he's taking that third, 3 hatch before pool right into a Roach Horn. So that initial gas loss, not a huge deal. He's skipping speed. But the opener to this, the response to this is beautiful. We watch as Tio throws down a Stargate. Depending on the direction he's going here, he can dominate the air. He can hold back all the information and tech gathering. We get a Phoenix out there, maybe even Void Ray to answer. I wouldn't say the Void Ray is the right answer. Last game we saw, Void Rays come out here from White Ninja versus Tech 4, but Tech 4's response was delayed. He'd focused on some cheeky things on the other side of the map. Didn't have all the mineral gathering and the gas gathering, that we have out of Pasosa here. Pasosa's in a better position to react to any kind of mass air strategy, but it doesn't look like we're gonna get a mass air strategy. We're getting a double robotics bay, in a proxy location, and we're canceling. We canceled the Stargate after killing the Overlord. So now this double Stargate, double Robo, pops out Immortals, faces down Roaches really well. It just depends, though. I mean, this could go either way, right? So the Roaches get to your front door, and you don't have Immortals at your front door. You have them on the other side of the map. That's one problem you could have. Behind this, it looks like we're getting that layer morphing down here in the natural. He's getting +1 ranged. Once that layer finishes, Roach speed kicks on. And he's going to have a lot of Roaches, but there's some build-up time where he's getting this economy going. He's kind of getting those forces prepared. Now, this should have been a tell. So Tio sees, and if he's paying enough attention, he sees 4 Lings come in. They suicide to the front door, but they're going slow. Oh, they're going... Well, they're not fast Lings, right? They're not speedy, so you have to know what's coming, right? If you caught that and you're paying attention, speed's not done, it's not Roaches. Or no, sorry, it's not Lings. It is a Roach opening. The Roaches are going to be coming quick, and he's coming quick and strong. So that 3 hatch, that starts to pay off very soon here, as we are on mineral, like almost completely saturated 3 bases. The third base just missing some gases and a couple drones. So, all right. Back there, Bunny Willis asks, do we start the round of 8 already? Absolutely. Shazam Proof clarifies. He says, you can if you'd like to. I am updating everything tonight. All your matches are due next week. If you get them done, the earlier you get them done, the more light. I mean, okay, so here's how this works. They're not due until Sunday at a certain time, but if you wait until the last minute to upload them, it will be difficult for me to cast them. They'll be cast on the following week. So if you can, and just a favor for me, if you get them done earlier Sunday or before Sunday, I will be able to cast them. We will cast all the matches that get played between now and I want to say next Sunday around 4 p.m. Pacific. We push it a little later every other Sunday because we're kind of timing with the pizza pie. But if you play those matches a little earlier, you're guaranteed, and we're going to get these casts done in the week 4 roundup. If not, if you're unable to make that schedule, that's fine. We'll get them in the week 5 roundup. All right, so Shazamproof says it's also Pasosa, so it's always Roaches. So it's a very good Roach combo. I really like what's going on here, but we take a look around as I talked about pizza and tournaments and timings. We have 4 mortals and 4 sentries down here at the bottom. We have a warp prison, maybe lined up to do a really good amount of at least distraction, some harassment there as these zealots, get unloaded in the top left. They'll come in, they'll do a run by, and this is the army that he wants to face down his opponent. And there's a lot of Roaches. That is a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential there for damage, but with these force fields, with these sentries shaving it off, they're really preventing a good surround here. It's hard to say what fights, who's going to take this fight. Is Immortals starting to lose shields, starting to lose a lot of damage. These Zealots being chased down here, trying to add their damage to the mix. Immortals very low on health. First one goes down, the second one goes down, and Pasosa just has a disgusting number of Roaches. This entire attack was supposed to be relying on the fact that Immortals crush Roaches, but Tio sat back so long that the very fast 3 bases paid off. The number of Roaches and Ravagers on the board was just too many, and he walks across the map now. There's so little back here ready to defend that Pasosa could just close this out here. Now, there are a lot of good warp-ins. This is anybody's fight. The shield goes up for the sentry. The Stalkers laying down a fair amount of damage here. The Immortal was absolutely targeted down very quickly here. The warp prison behind the backside of the Roaches could throw down some additional damage. There goes the Bile's going to clean that up. And another round of warp-ins for Stalkers as the Roaches continue to push in. Tio taps out. GG! Pasosa takes game number 1. That is very reminiscent of my favorite style of ZV. Anything. Sit back and macro up and macro up and macro up and macro up and macro up. until you can't anymore. And Pisosa, masterfully, not a quick timing, not an aggressive timing. Pisosa sits back and he says, I can handle this. I'm going to expand 2 times really quickly. I'm going to make almost nothing but drones for the first 4 minutes of the game. And since you're not punishing me, I will just explode with roaches. And when you think you have a timing attack of immortals, I'm just going to have twice your army supply. So GG there for Pisosa. Let's get back into StarCraft. We had to close it. We were loading old versions of old replays. As we dive into game number 2. We were on cup of coffee number 6. Alright, game number 2 is going to take place on Kairos Junction. So, before we get this game, we'll talk a little bit about things we have coming up here. After this broadcast, we will be running the Pizza Pie season 2019 Season 1 Tournament 2. Currently a $24 prize pool and a pizza for the winner. This is the All Inspiration Community Outreach Tournament. It is available to anybody. And if you go on to Matcherino, the link provided right there, and you type in the code... Oh, hey, White Ninja! Thank you for the follow! Let me test out my awesome new follow thing. Follow alert. Thank you for the follow. Yes, so if you go to that Matcherino link and you put in the code PizzaPie2, Matcherino is giving us 50 cents for every code, up to 30 codes or $30. And last week we were able to get to a full $50 prize pool for the winner, along with the pizza, and those are worth pizza points. Pizza points get you into the season final, which is the 10th tournament of the season. It takes place in May, where I am personally throwing down $250 in total prize pool. I think, and Shazam Proof is listening, he can correct me, I believe $200 will go to the winner, and there's a percentage layout because that's Matcherino as well. We will be... there will still be codes. There will still be opportunities for that prize pool to grow larger. So, a minimum of $200 for first place there. And the only way to get into that tournament is either A, to sign up. It's very complex. Either just sign up and be one of the top 16 pizza points people. But there is only 16 slots, and priority goes to pizza points holders, which you get just by signing up for this tournament, just by participating. And this week we're also trying out a new thing where the prize pool is split. So the winner will take the majority of the prize pool of what is currently $25, but the payouts also pays out the second place now 30% of the prize pool, which is currently at $7.50. So $17.50 will go to the winner right now, and $17.50 will go to the winner right now if no more contributions are made, as well as the pizza, and the runner-up gets $7.50. So we're trying to incentivize some more tournament participation, so it's not just a future in Star Killer Smash. You can still get in there and play. Have some fun. Come join. Signed up and used the code. Well, thank you, White Ninja. Thank you for signing up and using the code. You have contributed personally to our prize pool. And this is every other week. Every other week we run this. So that leading in, once we're done here with the TAI, once we finish up Group D, I will be putting us on another short break while I get the Pizza Pie stuff ready, and then we're going right into the Pizza Pie tournament. It is happening in 30 minutes. It is absolutely happening in 30 minutes, and that being said, let's make sure we get through these games. So, stay tuned after this for Pizza Pie. Pylon Famous. All right, game number 2 will take place on Kairos Junction. See you in game. Spawning in the top left-hand corner, the red Zerg. It is Pisosa. His opponent in the bottom right-hand corner of the blue Protoss, it is Tio. Instructions unclear, ordered pizza. I tell you, I have to resist the urge every single time we do the pizza pie, Asmodean, to keep myself from ordering pizza. I am a fan. I'm a huge fan of pizza. There have been some dark times in my life where, you know, I knew all the pizza delivery people in my area. They'd come up to the door and they'd say things like, "Hey, see you got a couple pizzas here. You know, when's the party?" And I'd have to, you know, "Hey guys," I'd turn around like the only one in the house. "Hey guys, pizza's here." Just kind of pretend like I wasn't ordering pizza for the third time that week just for myself on a Saturday night. "Hey guys, pizza's here. Who got the vegetarian?" All right, so we got a pull first out of Pisosa this time. So a little bit of a change up. Yeah, everything. Yeah, pull first from Pisosa. So let's see what that does. Like, what is the difference here? This does cause the wall to go down before the expansion. We're getting 6 lings right off the bat. This is a quick 6 lings. They get across the map just after 2-minute mark. This is lings checking for hidden pylons. And now this is Tio's game. He's got to react, right? This is his reactionary moment. So we're actually seeing, I like how we're seeing a wildly different game here from Pisosa. The first set of lings, they're going to get to a wall, and they're going to have to face down a zealot. So, you know, with some careful micro, they could move around and put some damage on the gateway, try to sneak in. He just got to select the right number of lings for it, and really force that zealot to come and meet them out in the background here. Behind it, though, he is droning up. He is taking a third base, so you know, he's putting this damage down. There we go. Forces out the adept, and that adept is gonna clean up. You know, these lings is gonna survive just fine. Absolutely, yeah. Tio comes out of this pretty well. As Moodin says, "I don't even pretend anymore." Look, I tell you, and that was my strategy. You're talking about pizza. Order 2 to 3 pizzas on like a Friday night, and then I had food for the weekend. The amount of grocery shopping, I guess the lack of grocery shopping that, you know, young adult Casey used to do was abysmal. And then I would go, it would be like things I could microwave or, you know, put in the oven for 20 minutes. I am not a chef. I'm not a cook. I don't even enjoy it. It's just so much time. So much time out of my day. Just order pizza. And here we are. We're going to give these things away for free. We're going to give them away to fantastic StarCraft players. All right. Taking a quick look around. Getting an idea. We have a Stargate coming down for Tio. We have a couple sentries coming out. Kind of building up that macro structure. The difference so far here, we're getting gases a little earlier for Pisosa. Looks like he's saturating. We don't have a change in tech yet, but we actually, there he is. We do have the Roach Warren just went down, so the Evolution just went down, so it does look like slightly later Roach Warren, but they are going to be, you know, +1 roaches rather than mass roaches. I say mass roaches, but I think actually there was an Evolution chamber into that wall last game, so yeah, just seeing a different timing on the same build here. Less, you know, safer, less macro focused. You know, getting that gas a little earlier. Should be warping into a layer soon, getting that roach speed. These lings over here are going to get a fair amount of damage on a completely unprotected third base. Switching right over to that adept, trying to get it down before it comes out. The adept only gets 1 shot off, and the lings begin to focus on the shield battery. The shield battery does not have the life to sustain that, as the pylon now under attack here. Lings even hitting the tapping the Nexus shield. Pylon goes down, and you know, adept forced to come over and handle this. There is an Oracle Oracle out now, first thing out of the Stargate. Another Oracle queued up. So Lings actually still in a fight with this Adept. They might be able to get it if the Adept hits the Nexus, as it looks like these two Lings are going to continue to do damage. Now, this is unfortunate. It's not like you want the Oracle to come over and turn on for 2 Lings, but you have to answer it eventually, right? You can't let these 2 Lings harass this third base forever. They'll get every probe, that comes out. Another Adept comes in, he will clean that up. And that is the end of that early harassment. I like how it's a minimal commitment of resources, from Pisosa, but it does require an answer. Tio has to do something about it. It's that I'm going to make you expend more of your attention than I'm expending, making you expend, if that makes sense. But we do have a handful of roaches now starting to gather up in a very forward, almost, some would say, aggressive position. 7 more roaches on the way, more Lings following that up. +1 range attack should finish up as he's facing down something. So as he's facing down the fight. Now we do have some more shield batteries been put down. They had to be replaced. These rocks coming down open up a slightly more direct avenue of approach, gives some more time for Lings to make it across the map. We do have the Oracles. They did spot this attack. They're coming back to defend. They'll go a long way towards handling the Lings in this fight. But I'm not sure what they prioritize on the field. Will they shoot at the roaches? Will you have to micro them? This is actually a good potential learning point for me. As the Oracles come down, we get a warp in of Adepts here. The Oracles turn on, start melting Adepts. The roaches start to stutter forward. The +1 is done. Lings coming in, kind of getting wiped out pretty quick. Sentry's doing a good job of dropping those shields. The shield batteries, were taken care of fairly quickly. They're not a part of this fight right now, and there's slowly, very quickly actually, less and less on the ground to handle this. The roaches, attacking the Zealots as they come in, as they warp in. More roaches continue to move in here. The pylon goes down, and that is going to go a long way towards stopping any additional warp-ins. These Oracles aren't going to do a lot to these roaches. And again, prioritizing the roaches, it's tough, right? We have these Lings hitting this side. Now we do have a Void Ray coming in. That's the Don't Die Void Ray. We saw it earlier. And they'll go a much longer distance here facing down these roaches as the attack moves over to the natural. Now, is it enough? We do have the Void Ray. Ooh, a little bit out of position now. He didn't follow the roaches up. These Lings continue to flood in. Now we've shifted to a Ling focus. The Hydralisk Den is on the way. If this attack doesn't continue, doesn't succeed, Pisosa will be in a pretty good position to defend any further Sky Toss aggression. The Immortals going down, losing some very expensive units. There's the tap out, and Pisosa takes game number 2, and he moves on out of the group stage, and he will face down Pure. Getting out of Group D. Where's this music? Let's get that going. Congratulations to Pisosa. You did it, and you did it with what I understand to be your favorite unit, the Roach. Ladies and gentlemen, we watched today as Jim Tony 2-0'd Praise. We watched as Mannix 2-1 Tool. We watched as White Ninja 2-1 Tech 4, right? 2-1 Tech 4. And we watched Pisosa 2-0 his opponent. And everybody's moving on. The round of 8. We're going to get into that next week. The round of 8 bracket. We're going to watch Bunny Willis face down Jim Tony. We're going to watch Drumhead face down Mannix. We're going to watch White Ninja face down Exiled 2-0. Thank you, Shazampu. And we're going to watch Pure face down Pisosa. Only one of these players will make it to the finals. Only one will take home the prize and will go down in history as the All-Invitational's 15th champion. Tune in next week actually right about now. Right about now, I'll be doing a warm-up stream. And we'll go into the TAI at 4 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to watch all those matches. We're going to have like 8 more cups of coffee. 8 more cups of coffee. And then 8 more cups of coffee between now and then when we do it.